like your look. I like the look. Is that yours? Oh, it's a good job though.
Regardless of their abilities and circumstances, has access to a safe and equitable education. Let's stand united and demand that our children's
This is a permanent event. They paid the police and the state corporation board to allow them to have this event here. Permanent. It's not really a protest, it's permanent. Can't call it a protest, it's permanent.
And give yourselves a round of applause. I just got word that we finished every single one of the 1,000 postcards we printed for you. Those are going to go straight to the Supreme Court to demand due process. Good job, everybody. Next up, we have a veteran law enforcement, Dan Weber, who is the founder of a student nonviolent action union. We are honored to have him here today. And he's coming right up. Let's give it up for Dan.
It's like
Thank you
a
so
cop
much.
speaking now. That's where we're at. Just to let you know who's on your side and who's against you.
I'm going to ask you all to stand up if you can and get a little bit closer. The end of this is going to really come in handy. We're going to have our voices heard together. My name is Dan Weber. In 2009 and 2011, I fought with the 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines in Afghanistan and served as a deputy in Hayes County from 2016 to 2020.
Totally corrupt police department.
My commitment to this country began on September 11, 2001, when I was 13 years old, watching towers filled with people crashing to the earth. What was felt physically in the stomachs and chest of every American that day would cool into words later. Fear, hate, hopelessness, hope, forgiveness, a veritable rainbow of emotions filtered through each individual's life experiences. But first, it was worse than any name or word could describe. It felt like a belly full of tumors and a chest filled with an infinite crushing gravity.
I'm sure nobody will take her.
I saw every person who I know and loved empty, hurt, broken, and terrified. There was an unspoken agreement not to laugh for weeks, not while bodies were still being removed from the rubble of 2 American landmarks. But something happened after that. The songs, the shows, movies, radio, sports, news, and politicians all put aside yesterday's hate. The flags went up. Nearly every house on nearly every street. The country unified in its suffering for those who died in New York, in Washington, and in Pennsylvania. We gathered together, introduced ourselves to strangers, unified under a common flag of patriotism. We mourn equally the 2,910 documented Americans and the 67 undocumented Americans who died that day. There was a divisive counter to this unified patriotism, though. A flaring of the malignant hatred which has always pervaded society. The number of hate crimes against Muslims jumped from 28 in 2000 to 481 in 2001. And almost all of that was in the last 3.5 months of the year. America has never been perfect, and it never can be. What we strive for, what we fight for, is an ever more perfect union. Today we speak the names of Abrego Garcia, Mervo Gutierrez, and Mahmoud Khalil. Their names represent the hundreds of undocumented Americans denied the due process guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States of America to, and I quote, all people. The right to defend yourself, to speak your side of any accusation, to provide and refute evidence, to call witnesses and experts, to review documents and statements, is the most fundamental linchpin of our Constitution. Without that guarantee, the rest of the rights fall away like rotting meat off a bone. Today I see military planes filled with military members taking people to a Salvadorian facility that I don't have the words for. Torture prison, concentration camp, gulag, The problem is that these words all have their meanings for different times and different places. Today is something entirely new, yet nothing more than a variant of the same catacombs which were filled with screens during the Inquisitions. This is a place which promises no inmate will ever leave, which refuses lawyer or family visitation, which tortures and deprives its victims. Just one of the facilities with over 260 inmate deaths in just 2.5 years of Bukele's reign. It is a place now torturing Americans for money, American taxpayer money, with your money. I have fought the Taliban, I have watched them kill and maim my friends. I've continued to watch friends take their own lives for a decade. I've both killed and arrested Taliban fighters. I wouldn't send one of them to CCOT in El Salvador. It is not humane, it is not ethical, moral, honorable, right, or just. It is a physical manifestation of hatred and bigotry, of apathy and malevolence. As a deputy, I've arrested murderers and rapists, robbers and child molesters, and would-be school shooters. I've arrested MS-13, and I've arrested Aryan Brotherhood. I've resuscitated a newborn just to watch her die and get in my hands. And I tell you that not one of the people responsible for any single nor any number of crimes should either be deprived of their right to due process nor sent to this void of human rights in a foreign country. There is a plan to terrify millions of people, to force them into hiding, into working undocumented jobs for pennies, unable to complain or petition for humane work or living conditions, to create a new undocumented caste, unable to grow as people or as communities. That is the plan. It is the reinvigoration of American slavery under new branding. Once again, I see a country being emptied, broken, hurt, and terrified. I feel the crushing in my chest and the tumors in my belly. So what do we call an administration which utilizes the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims? One which utilizes the calculated use of violence to create a general climate of fear and a population to bring about a particular political objective? I have fought terrorist organizations before, one defined by those same two definitions I just gave, and I see it here now. The Trump administration is a terrorist organization, and it is time to stop gathering and time to start organizing. Now comes the question, what do you do? The organizers of each state's 50-51 and hands-off movements must come together and decide on state and national leadership. Consult with the King Center, with SCLC, ACLU, the UFW, and the N.K. Gandhi Center for Nonviolence. Get education from experts in nonviolence training, and then hold your own trainings. Build unity and discipline, set specific goals and plans to accomplishment. That's what it means to organize. Millionaires and billionaires of the country who don't want to watch it burn. Now it's time to show up. Finance buses and planes for those impoverished. Offer stadiums for training in nonviolent resistance, risk mitigation, and legal education. Senators and representatives, governors and mayors do the same. Military members and their family members and friends here today to pass on this message. You have so much power in saying no, insulted and demoted, and not with anybody who tries to send somebody who looks to you for protection, regardless of who they are, to a place like CCOT. The people in uniform who stand around us and at the Capitol steps are doing what they swore to do. They are protecting that building and the people inside. They are protecting us. That is what you are. You are protectors. Reach out to the women's shelters, to immigration attorneys. Listen to the real human suffering being inflicted. Rape and domestic abuse victims are scared to ask for help. They're being isolated in silence and fear that reaching out to you will result in them disappearing from their families. You, the people who spend 60 hours a week sacrificing their physical and mental health, who sacrifice time with their families, and have sacrificed their lives to take a bullet or a knife for any one of these undocumented Americans. You are being weaponized by an uncaring and inhumane group of people. You do not wear your shields to protect any singular politician, nor to obey without questioning, without an internal conviction that each action you make is the right and just one. It may not be fair. But many of you will be forced to choose orders or justice. Choose justice. Choose the people you see here. College and university students. There are over 400 student organizations at Texas State University alone. Unionize them. Give each organization a spokesperson and a vote. Elect leaders and do it soon. Hear each other's fears and come up with your own solutions. Do not wait for university leadership to provide you any education into your rights or stand up for you if you're arrested or deported. The school has chosen silence and grant funding over the students in their charge. I'm a student at Texas State, and you should all know that there are an estimated 200 to 1,000 undocumented American students on that campus alone at risk of being sent to CCOP right now. UT, do the same. You have over 1,000 organizations and 52,000 students. Organize, educate, and train. Then send ambassadors to other schools and show them what they can do. There are 19 million college and university students in this country. You are a force of nature, a force of progress. Each of you represent the light and moral strength of America. And marching together, no amount of darkness can survive the brilliance of a generation committed to change. America, too many fought, too many marched though crosses burned in their front yards. Too many people were abused, kicked, spit on. Too many people fought for too many rights for us to forget the lessons they suffered to teach us. John Lewis spent his life making sure we would not need John Lewis. Now we are going to remind this country and the world what American unity sounds like. If you don't have one of these sheets with the lyrics of "We Shall Not Be Moved" that are being passed around, that's okay. Look it up on your phone, look on with a stranger, or just pick up the words as we go along. To quote Bruce Hartford, a veteran of the civil rights movement, the songs elevated our courage. The songs bonded us together. The songs forged our discipline. The songs shielded us from hate. The songs protected us from danger, and the songs kept us sane. Every house, every street, every person, and every voice. This is the sound of flags going up, Donald.
Shall not be moved. Black, brown, white shall not be moved. Black, brown, white together, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. Fighting for our freedom, we're fighting for our freedom, we shall not be moved. We're fighting for our freedom, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. Fighting for our neighbors, we're fighting for our neighbors, we shall not be moved. We're fighting for our neighbors, we shall not be moved. Like a tree that's planted by the water.
I just saw a sign that said, Texans know horse shit when we smell it. I think that's a great sign for the day. My name's Ollie Hoffman. I'm an 8th generation Texan, a UT student, the grandchild of a Holocaust survivor, and a very proud Jew. I'm here today in front of the bowels of the beast to declare that protesting for Palestine is not a crime. In the past few weeks, we have seen an escalation of campus censorship that has called into question the very efficacy of our Constitution. Hundreds of students have been stripped of their visas, stalked, detained, denied due process, all for exercising their freedom of expression. Boo. Right here in Texas, 260 students have had their visas revoked, and a student from the West Bank is being detained in Dallas as we speak.
This dog is always
Shame. All for the crime of speaking up on behalf of the families and the children of Gaza. We have seen horrifying videos of masked feds ambushing students outside of their homes, cornering them on campus, and shoving them into unmarked SUVs. This, we're told by our overlords, is for our national security. This is about the safety of Jewish students like me. That's worse than horse shit. That's high horse shit. With lofty titles like the Task Force to Combat Anti-Semitism and the Texas Holocaust Genocide and Anti-Semitism Commission, you'd almost start to believe them if they didn't give a Nazi salute on live TV like 5 seconds later. Yeah, fuck you on. Sorry. Oh my God, sorry. Children present. Our attention has been directed towards the high-profile cases of Mohsen Madawi, Rumeisa Ozturk, and Mahmoud Khalil. The Texas legislature, under the whip of Greg Abbott, has been dutifully ushering several bills through the legislature with little pushback. SB 326, 645, 1909, 1069, I'm sure I'm forgetting some, and their House bill counterparts will redefine the very legal definition of anti-Semitism on campus if they are passed, laying the groundwork for more abductions, expulsions, and censorship. Shame. Shame. These bills strip anti-Semitism of its meaning and the Holocaust of its memory. Favorite of anti-Semitism in the truth's criticism of Israel as a graver injustice than Holocaust denial. Represented that. Wow. Behind these bills, of course, is our favorite Greg Abbott. Genocide and Anti-Semitism Advisory Commission. The woman who's been doing the advising on anti-Semitism at these bill hearings is Sandra Hagee Parker, if you remember that last name. Counsel for her father's group, Christians United for Israel, the biggest pro-Israel advocacy group in the country. Her father's question is John Hagee, the megachurch pastor who once bellowed from his pulpit that Hitler is God's hunter, sent to drive Jews to the promised land. These people do not speak on behalf of Jewish people. Protest is not prejudice. The truth is, America hides behind its slanders in jail. Shame. What we've come to understand in the wake of the Holocaust is that there are very unique atrocities, but our oppression, whether in Europe, Texas, or Palestine, has the same poison root. We say never again because we know that the cage you helped build is the one you end up in. This is why we refuse. We refuse to be silenced. We refuse to let them use the suffering of my people for their political circus. We refuse to close our eyes. We refuse to stop demanding a free Palestine. We aren't just here to bear witness though, right? We're here because we understand that we must do the impossible to avoid the unthinkable. No one's coming to save us but ourselves, but as students, teachers, mothers, fathers, workers, people who give a damn, we know we can. Alright? We know we can. I hate to tell y'all, but the picnic is the easy part. The difficult but impactful part starts when you walk over to one of these tables and you talk to the amazing people at CARE, Austin for Palestine Coalition, PSL, or any of the many other tables and begin to organize and not just mobilize. We need Austin City Council to make Austin a free speech sanctuary now. We need to call our reps every damn day to make sure these bad bills don't get passed. The only thing we can't do is afford to let this beautiful day and all the beautiful people I see here, let this just be a moment. We have a world to win, and we know that capitalist politicians aren't coming to save us. They're not. The intent of this assault on Muslim, Arab, and Palestinian students is to make you afraid to speak, to ask questions, to disagree, and learn from it. I beg of you, if we fail to kill these bills and they demand you be silent, for Palestine's sake, for my sake, for your sake, refuse. students who are getting their visas revoked for speaking the truth, that none of us are free until all of us are free. And we've got another person.
Doesn't have his tan hat on.
Melody. Let's give it up for Melody.
Howdy folks, can you all hear me well? Excellent. My name is Melody Swallow. I am an out and open trans woman. Since I answered the call to activism, I do what I can to make events like this a reality. Events where we can all come together in peaceful assembly to meet our neighbors and to stand for something greater than ourselves. We are currently in a time of crisis. A storm like no other is upon us. Folks are afraid to come out to these events, and rightly so. We have an administration in office that is openly defying court orders, brazenly violating the Constitution, and snatching people off of the streets. First, they came for the immigrants, and I did not speak out because I was not an immigrant. Except I know the rest of the poem, so I will speak out. It would be irresponsible not to. I only have 5 minutes, so I'm going to make this time count. Please forgive me and lend me grace if I butcher the following names. These are people whose visas were revoked, they were detained, or they were deported. Some of them were sent to the CICOT facility in El Salvador. None of them were given due process. I won't read the more than 400 names, but I need you to hear a few. Ksenia Petrova, Llewellyn Dixon, Camila Munoz, Fabian Schmidt, Mahmoud Khalil, Karim Daoud, Alexi Canas, Mamadou Tal, Lika Cordia, Jersey Reyes Barrios, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, Arturo Suarez Trejo, Neri Alvarado Borges, Andre Hernandez Romero, Franco Jose Carballo Tiapa, Frangel Reyes Mota, Dr. Rasha Alawe, Veronica Ramirez Verduzco, Dr. Badar Khan, Rumesa Ozturk, Alfredo Lelo Suarez, Areza Doradi, Robert Servio Panton, Doğukan Günaydın, Wilson Martel Lebron, Felipe Zapata Velasquez, Jose Franco Garcia Rodriguez, Juan Carlos Lopez Gomez. At least 3 unknown people were arrested here in Austin at Wooten Park. Y'all came out today because you believe in democracy and the Constitution. You believe in due process. If there is one thing that I could ask of you all today, it's to pull out your phones and either call or text someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Ask them how they're doing. Check in with them. It's the smallest acts of kindness that can keep us going through the worst of times. Ask your neighbor if they're doing okay. Hold your family close. Tell your friends that you love them. And don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help yourself. We chose to have a community-focused event today because community will be your wall against the coming storm. I've been building walls with the trans community, but it's not enough. It's not enough to protest, and it's not enough to make signs and shout our grievances to those in power. These rallies are a show for us, to show us that we aren't alone in our rage and our anger against an unjust government. An event like this is to show us that we can come together to build unity among our communities, something that we desperately need right now, because the skies are darkening. The air is growing heavy, and the wind is beginning to howl. We will need our walls very soon, and they have to be strong. They need to withstand the tempest that America has never seen before, an actual tyrant who will ignore precedent, tradition, and the most basic principles of the rule of law. If there's only one thing that you can do to strengthen these walls against the storm, it's to reach out to your neighbors and ask them if they are doing okay. If they're not, you do your best to help them. If you find that you're the one that needs help, reach out to your community. We will be your walls. We will be there. I urge you all to stay aware and stay safe. These are dark times. I want to thank you all for coming out today. I will see you all again, right here at the South Steps on May 1st from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join us on May Day. The skies may be dark, but the storm cannot last forever. Together, we will weather this storm. My name is Melody Tremolo, and I promise to keep fighting for all of you.
Give it up for Melody. We have Dr. Brian Register coming up next. He is going to talk about the 3.5% rule, which is very important right now. It's what we're doing here today.
Brian registers the doctor? I don't think so.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for being here. I think there's more of y'all out there than I have ever seen before. I am a professor, so I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna actually profess at y'all. So everybody's heard this 3.5% figure that's going around. I have to say that some of the things I hear about it are disturbing me, or worrying me. So the figure comes from a book by two scholars of resistance, Erica Chenoweth and Maria Stephan, called Why Civil Resistance Works, The Strategic Logic of Nonviolence. You can get it, and you don't have to get it from Amazon. And it fits neatly in your pocket if you have the right size pocket. They looked at 323 resistance campaigns and found that nonviolent resistance was more than twice as likely to succeed as violent resistance. The prospect of success directly correlates to the number of participants in the movement. If 1% of the population participates at the peak of the movement, then the regime has a 50% chance of giving way, and it gets better from there up to 3.5%. No regime has survived a 3.5% population resistance. But there are some issues. First, the largest country they studied had 1/5 of our land area and 1/10 of our population. That is not necessarily how science works. So we are in uncharted territory. And second, the campaigns that they studied occurred in a world in which their book had not been written. Now it has, and that changes things. The bad guys can also read. I mean, not Trump, but They do have some people over there who can read, have read, and are waiting for us to have 3.5% of our people do something and then ignore us and then hope that we're going to go, well, we lost and give up. So the bad guys know the plan, so we need new plans. At a deep level, that's why nonviolence is better than violence. It's because this is a contest of strategy between reasoning beings, not a brute force between dumb bodies. We have to outthink them. Third, the number of participants is not the key factor on its own. Having so many participants generates two things, and these are the things that really matter. First is ideas. The resistance movements that Chenoweth and Stephan study don't just show up, listen to friendly speeches, yell at empty buildings, and then win. They do civil disobedience, they do strikes, they do some things that don't seem particularly peaceful. They come up with innovative and surprising tactics, which they can do because there are so many people that some of them have ideas, not just bodies. And that's why nonviolence is better than violence, because we're reasoning beings, not just units of flesh to be counted. Some of us have to get a lot more involved and we have to get creative. And you can start that by volunteering. Right now, we're going to be 50-51 table or the resistance autism table. Go to a Tesla tape now. That many people know a lot orders. They're able to divide the regime, breaking it up so that it can collapse. A lot of that has to happen at high levels of political power. We're gonna have to try to reason some trust.
Let you know some of these sign-up sheets are federal agents.
I know from law. Different experience of living in these people.
Hi. Like stickers, we have signs, we have water if you're thirsty, pins. We also have a ton of our
But I know that there have been some meetings that I've seen starting. Some of that stuff, I mean,
another part of the strategic logic of nonviolent resistance involves separating the in all of the cases that China within Steph will discuss in detail, the ultimate crisis is
That's
the way it happens. Well, I guess I can't empty out a box and then put this over.
You're not going to vote your way out of this, guys.
It is going to be critical at some point in the next few years that the Army and the police see us as human beings and fellow Americans and refuse to follow orders. Wrapping ourselves in the flag is part of that.
You know, it's not happening now.
So bless everyone of you that brought the flag out.
Well, I see Dr. Brian registered the moron.
Rich white traders responsible for their actions. We're going to have to figure out how to finally do that. And we're going to have to sweepingly reform our government so that no demagogue can do again what Trump is doing now. So 3.5% is not a magic number. People have reason and free will. We're unpredictable. If 3.5% of us get in the streets and the regime remains, that doesn't mean that we failed. It means that we need to get smarter. I want to leave you with a last thought. Our demand is not new. It is written in our Declaration of Independence. Please believe me when I say that I know that many of the founders of the American Republic were viciously hypocritical. They could be such hypocrites because they had such high ideals to fall short of. Those ideals are our resources. Every intellectual and moral resource that we need to secure our freedom is already there in our history. Study Chenoweth and Stefan, by all means do that. But we need to study Jefferson and Paine and Madison and Hamilton and Thoreau and Douglas, not to mention Plato and Aristotle and Cicero and Locke. We have to relearn who we are, and then we'll become what we were meant to be.
Powerful words. We've got Nevin coming up next to talk about a direct action you can...
To go by the name Nevin K. I'm an organizer with Resist Austin and the director of a related group known as Resist Trump Campaign. I'm also one of Resist Austin's representatives to the emerging Hands Off Central Texas Coalition, which includes Indivisible, Third Act, and a little group known as 5051. Resist Austin's mission is nonviolent civil resistance to authoritarians. Why? Because as someone once said, a free society is one where the government fears the people, not the other way around. Now, this government, led by Donald J. Trump, seems to have forgotten this. I don't have to tell you about his plans to forcibly relocate American citizens to prisons in El Salvador, do I? I don't have to tell you about the wild fluctuations in the stock market and obvious acts of financial market manipulation, do I? I don't have to tell you about the ongoing destruction of our cherished democracy at the altar of incompetence, corruption, and greed, do I? Because you probably already know. We've got a tyrant on our hands, folks. That's our reality right now. Take it in.
Yeah, we don't want it.
if we say
The good thing, however, is that my group, Resist Austin, and my related group, Resist Trump Campaign, are deploying a methodology that has worked against authoritarians before. It worked for Mohandas Gandhi, it worked for Martin Luther King Jr., and it worked for the Serbian youth activists of the 1990s against their foe, the well-known dictator Slobodan Milosevic. It's called nonviolent civil resistance. Thanks, Brian, for stealing my thunder. It's why we're the group leading the protests at Tesla stores and galleries on Saturdays
It didn't work against Mao Zedong.
between
it didn't
10
work
a.m. and
against,
12 p.m. at
fascism in Italy,
so far
fascism
183 in
Brazil,
McNeil and North Austin for the
fascism
past
in
4
Germany
weeks, and
come
also
back.
as of today, St.
Fascism's on
Elmo
the
and
rise.
in South Austin this morning.
These guys think that their pacifism is some kind of new thing. It's exactly what their masters
We are
want.
not going to stop
pacifist.
until Tesla's stock is so low that Elon gives it the up. If you want to be part of this story of lawful nonviolent civil resistance to Trump and his enablers and other authoritarians in the shadows, talk to us. We're here at the table right over there that says quite clearly, there are no kings in America. We have a place for you regardless of your political past or affiliations, regardless of your citizenship status, regardless of your gender identity, regardless of your age, and regardless of your sexual orientation.
But you got RSVP to
We are an inclusive entity, and we will help you find your place.
Not very inclusive. You're pretty much ignoring me.
I believe that America is for all of us. And
Pretty much ignoring me.
You cannot do
What are they gonna
this
do?
alone. Join us at resistaustin.us or resisttrump.us and see for yourself. I'll leave you with this quote by someone named
I can smell the exhaust from these cars that are wasting gas. That's my money.
Right? Like, why are they sitting here idling with
Because
nobody
they
in
can.
there?
It's because they can.
I know.
Yeah.
He said, and I quote the following: "If there must be trouble, let it be in my name, that my child may have peace." I'll repeat it actually. If there must be trouble, let it be in my name, that my child may have peace. So he was saying that if there's trouble, that he should have to deal with it so that his children can live in peace. How many of us here dream of a future for our children or the children of our friends and our families? Well, guess what? Trouble's here, folks. Trouble's here. Now it's time for action. It's time for words. It's time to say it together, so repeat after me. Hands off our democracy! Hands off our democracy! Thank you.
You can join Nevin and your compatriots here in Austin every week, every Saturday morning. They just did a Tesla takedown this morning. You can join them next week. It is so important that we use our economic power. And we use that every single day when we choose not to shop at Amazon, when we choose not to shop at Target, when we choose not to get on X, when we choose not to put more money in the hands of those that oppress us. Next up, we have Nancy from Mothers Against
They
Tyranny.
paid the police to be here. They literally put more hands on the money of the people that oppress us. And they're cashing the check. The direct deposit just made it.
Hi all, I'm Nancy. I am the founder of Mothers Against Drug Habit and Mothers for Democracy.
And I am also a mom, and I am also an anti-fascist. Like every mom I know, I'm tired. Not the kind of tired that you can fix with a nap. I'm tired of watching our schools be defunded and the MAGA Republican fascists power grab our politicians who would rather please billionaires than protect Americans. Yeah. I'm tired of the lies and the cruelty and the fear-mongering. And I don't know about you, but I'm fucking done being polite about it. So, what is happening here in Texas? It's fascism in plain sight. Texas has been the testing ground for fascism. When the government censors our books, bullies our teachers, and spies on doctors, that's fascism. When they abduct innocent people off the streets without a trial, that's fascism. When they pass vouchers to defund public schools while the billionaire donors cash in, that's fascism. Yes. When they try to do a MAGA hostile, and we are not running. We expect our politicians to stop capitulating to the fascists like Greg Abbott and Donald Trump. We are steadfast focused on raising a generation that deserves better, and we are going to fight like hell to give it to them. To the MAGA regime politicians selling our kids for campaign checks, your time is up. To the corporations funding this chaos, we are watching you and your time is coming. It is fucking coming. And to all of you standing shoulder to shoulder here today with all of us here, this is our moment. We will fight for the children. We will fight for our parents. We will fight for our neighbors, and we will fight for ourselves. We will fight for our public schools. We will fight for health care. We will fight for Social Security. We will fight for Medicare. We will fight for our LGBTQ loved ones. We will fight for freedom of speech, and we will fight for due process. We also have to remember to remind all those politicians out there that we will fight for the brave politicians who stand up to this hostile takeover. You fight for us, we'll fight for you, but get on board. Because we are fighting for our democracy. Because we are not powerless. We are not alone. And we are not backing down. Hands off our democracy, because it's better to fight among friends here today than to face fascism alone. We are the next generation of revolutionaries building this movement, and we're just getting fucking started. So stop the fascist power grab, because damn it, we are fighting back. Thank you.
I think it's incredibly important that we take a moment to look around at our neighbors, at our community, that are standing shoulder to shoulder to fight fascism. Take a moment, look at yourselves, look at each other. Thank the person next to you for coming out here today. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for protecting our country. Thank you for protecting our beautiful city and our powerful state. Next up, we have the Reverend Aaron Walter, Minister and Executive Director of Texas UU Justice Ministry.
Thank you, Sophia, and everyone who has made this day possible. I am the Reverend Aaron Walter. I use she, her pronouns, and I spend a lot of time in that building. And I want to see every single one of you in there this week because we have a lot of fighting to do. The fascism is at home, my friends, and it needs us to fight back. Democracy needs us. I want to give you one example. Everything is connected. Everything. You can't do everything. And please don't let that get you down and despairing because you can't do everything. But if you do something, you're connected to all of us who are doing something. The same is true of the oppressions. They are all connected. So listen to this message that I received yesterday morning. It comes from a friend at Public Citizen, an organization, one of the many partners of the Texas Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry. And it says this, is this on your radar? The environmental folks are making sure the women's rights folks are aware. SB 1976 from Hughes would make it such that the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality must conduct quarterly testing at a sampling of wastewater treatment facilities in the state for substances found in urine that are associated with abortion, birth control, pregnancy, and gender-affirming care for transgender individuals. Shame! They want to use your tax dollars. Senator Hughes in that building wants to use your, I'm sorry, I'm screaming, wants to use your tax dollars. I looked out and I saw my friend Lisa with her fingers in her ears. I'm mad, you guys. And I'm exhausted, and I'm not giving up. But Senator Hughes wants to use your tax dollars to create this fascist watchdog state out of our environmental departments. That is just one example of what's going on, and we need you in there. So I had some people say to me, why a picnic? Listen. We can have a picnic, we can have a rock show, we can do absolutely everything because joy is an important part of the resistance. And we're not leaving here without action. So I have some for you. Number one, I am a minister, and so I'm going to speak to those of you who may identify as progressive people of faith. Now, in Unitarian Universalism, that includes atheists, agnostics, Christians, Buddhists. We are a pluralistic, non-creedal denomination, and everyone is welcome if love and justice is in the heart of your faith. And I still believe in the separation of church and state. And so what I need is for anyone else who has religious heritage or religion in their life to be loud and proudly claiming the mantle of people of faith to fight back against white supremacist, extremist, Christian nationalism. We need your voice. We need you. You can find me at txuujm.org. None of us are perfect in this work, but I'm happy to talk with you about how we have a progressive, faith-based response to that extremism that is anti-racist, that is anti-ableist. We have a lot of work to do. And Sophia said, look around. Please look around. I'm now going to speak to those who are white and cisgender like myself. When we have been in that Capitol fighting bills that would deputize our Department of Public Safety officers into ICE agents. Fuck that. Yep, that's what somebody said behind me. And those are sacred words right now. Sacred words, fuck that. And I mean it. So when we're in there, I don't just want to see my black and brown siblings in the fight in the room when we're testifying against those anti-immigration bills. And we can't just see our trans siblings, our trans kids and their parents in the room when we're fighting for trans rights. Please, your call to action today, ask yourself what's the one thing you care the most about that's personal and find some actions for that. Google it. If you don't know, Google it and find your actions. And then one thing that you don't know that much about that's led directly by people impacted that you can be an ally to. And then show up, please, because directly impacted folks are exhausted and we need reinforcements. All right? We can do this, y'all. I'm going to say the rest of what I have to say with rock and roll. I brought my guitar stand. My band and I will be back in just a few minutes. Thank you for having us.
It is so important that we have representatives up here to say that it is not Christian to lock up people without due process. It is not Christian to hold the purse strings of our country and give our money to big business. And it is not Christian to take away my rights as a woman or a queer person here in Texas. Every time I see elected MAGA talk about Christianity, I just think about the look on their face when they get to the gates of heaven and God does not let them in. I want them to hear today that God will not let you into the gates of heaven if you harm humans here on earth. God will not let you into the gates of heaven if you harm women, if you harm children, if you harm immigrants, if you harm veterans, and if you harm America. Especially on Easter weekend, y'all. This is a time of rebirth, of love, and of abundance. And here today, I see an abundance of love and an abundance of power. Every single one of us keeps each other safe. Every single one of us has personal and professional skills, personal and professional resources and contacts that we can plug in to the ongoing work of rebuilding our country in our own image. We have Dane Hurt up next, who's going to speak to us about reaching out with love and overcoming fear. Let's give it up to Dane.
Hello, Austin. My name is Dane. I'm a local artist. I'm so happy to be here with you all, exercising our freedom of speech today. First off, let me say this. If I had $1 billion, I can't even imagine the good I could do in the world with that, right? The people I could feed, you know, the homeless people I could shelter, but these guys want to build rocket ships to escape our dying planet instead of trying to heal it. You know, they compete to be the richest man alive, while their workers are having to choose between bills and groceries. Groceries, that's not an old-fashioned word to us, right? You know, it's a normal, everyday word for us. We need universal health care more than Elon Musk needs another mansion. We need to fix problems here on Earth before we try moving to Mars. We need student loan forgiveness more than Donald Trump needs another golf game while everything goes to hell, which costs millions of dollars for him to do, apparently. And he sucks at golf, too. Now, this is no longer red versus blue. It's the oligarchy versus all of us. They want it all. They want our Social Security. They want our Medicare. And they're in the middle of trying to take it right now. But when I stand here and I listen to the words of my friends, I believe we can stop them. I understand the conservative mindset because I used to be in it. I was raised in a high-control religion. I went on a 2-year mission to Mexico. And after that, I would eventually leave the church, but I still remember what it was like to be in a cult. And I have empathy for people who are in cults because, well, you know, what we're up against is a cult. And when you're in a cult, you have a mental defense already ready for every possible angle of argument that comes at you. You really think you have no choice but to come off as a jerk sometimes because you think you're doing what's right. Because to you, what's right is obeying your leaders. Whatever you say, that's how they view right or wrong. And I remember the grand majority of conservatives, I won't say all, but most of them, they don't wake up and say, okay, it's time to be a bad person today. A lot of them want to do the right thing. They're just confused about what that is. My friends tried about every argument with me, but eventually they all gave up on me, and only when I ended up all alone did I start to ask myself if the problem was with me. So if you've had to cut off a MAGA friend or relative, just know that that might be what finally helps them see clearly. They need to realize that their judgments and hang-ups aren't your problem. And also remember that sometimes the biggest allies against a cult can be people who've left the cult. So keep your hearts open to these people, these MAGA people, as they leave and realize they were wrong. Don't say, I told you so, or, to their face, just, be welcoming to them. But my 2 years in Mexico did give me something important. With every month I was there, I fell deeper and deeper in love with the people of Mexico. Their generosity, their spirit, their hospitality. I was completely taken care of the whole time I was there. I traveled all over the country. I never felt unsafe. Once I learned the language well enough to talk to people, I remember vividly the shock I felt when I realized that there was really no difference between those people and my friends and back home. Live like leeches on the people's lives. We must take back our land again. America. America never was America to me, and yet I swear this oath, America will be. America will be. Thank you, Austin.
If you really want to know, there's a bunch of statist, white privileged people on the left that are mad at this statist, white privileged people on the right, and the left thinks that they have the solution, but they don't really have a solution. They're just here for their egos. And they're being co-opted by Zionists.
We
this
are
whole thing's run by
slowing down
Zionists.
and we are
I think his name is
stopping a
Greenberg.
dictator.
Look it up.
And it is not going to happen overnight.
They're co-opting
Just
all
like what they're trying to do to our
activism
country
in
is not going to
Texas.
happen overnight. Our resistance
Across the
will
nation.
be ongoing.
They want to be the main activists, but they're running.
We
being run by the
self-govern
feds.
in this country.
This is like
we are
Occupy,
a
just
government
another
by the people, for the
federal
people. There's
program
even a line in our
to keep
Texas
people
state
from resisting.
constitution, which
If
I
you're
am
here, you're
a
not
big
resisting.
fan of, that says
But
that
I'm
if the
covering it so that
government
people have
tries
free
to
speech.
harm us, we can reorganize it.
Thanks for
That's
asking.
what we're doing here today, y'all. We are reorganizing our government in the image of a labor, in the image of the middle class and the working class, in the image of our neighborhoods, in the image of our beautiful diversity. And I want to speak just briefly
About
to
indigenous
why
people?
this crowd out here
No.
is so Caucasian.
Exactly.
It is good, it's good.
Yeah, it's
because in 2020, when we were out on the streets defending our black and brown citizens, the law enforcement response was brutal. We have since taken to court many law enforcement that broke the law and used undue, unnecessary, inappropriate, and morally indefensible violence against our people. And one of the reasons why the hands-on protests have been so peaceful is because we are so white.
I know.
I am given more justice under the law, not as much as my male friends,
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
still more than so many of my other friends. And it is so important that we are here today holding the line of our Constitution, putting our face in, and 77 American residents currently in the Blue Bonnet detention facility outside of Dallas. Last night at 1 in the morning, the Supreme Court, thanks to efforts by the ACLU, filed an injunction to stop their kidnapping and the plane to El Salvador. So I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, when they come to Austin again to kidnap our neighbors, are you going to know your rights by then? Are you going to know the difference between a judicial warrant signed by a judge and a piece of paper that ICE is trying to claim is a warrant? Will you look it up on your phone today so that you can tell the difference? So that you can protect your neighbors and protect yourself, because we now have had 2 citizens detained by ICE. That means that the first they come is getting pretty darn close to me. So I'm gonna wrap this up, but we, as far as I know, our residents in the Blue Bonnet facility are still in Texas. We need to keep up on this. We need to call our state and local representatives and tell them to go to Dallas and defend our people. If you hear the call to go to your neighborhood, to go to your school, to go to your church, to go to a detention facility and protect someone, to protect the life of someone in your community, we need you to show up. We need you to call the media. We need you to call your veterans and your fathers and your mothers and your neighbors and your boyfriends. We need to go shoulder to shoulder to protect our neighbors, so that we know that people will go shoulder to shoulder to protect us when they come for us. And we need you to come back on May 1st and march. We need you to come back on June 6th and march with veterans, and we need to see you on the 4th of July for a blowout march for democracy. All right, we've got one more powerful speaker, Kiara, who's going to lead us in another song, y'all. What a great day. Singing together. Hey, Austin. It's me again. My name is Kiara, and I'm so happy to see your beautiful faces all over again. Can we just shout, what the hell, together? What the hell? That was beautiful. I'm here to reiterate that community is so important. I said it before and I'll say it again. I refuse to go back. So say it with me. We won't move. 1, 2, 3. We won't move! We as humans are not meant to be divided. We are creatures who crave affection, love, and care. We have come too far to go back to that. So, I want everyone to take a moment, say hello to the person next to you, give them a compliment or a hug if they need it, or if they consent. And then one more thing before we sing. I want us to take a deep breath. We're going to go in before, out before. Amazing. I love you guys, and I know you guys know this song. I usually use these as a crush, but I want to set them down. And I need you guys to start clapping. So here we go. Clap, 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 clap. Okay, keep going.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can feel those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, if you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. I need to hear y'all call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can carry, I'll ride up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me if you need a friend. Oh yeah, call me if you need a friend. I'm gonna do the chorus one more time. So, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Amazing! I love you guys! You have great voices, y'all. I'm impressed. All right, we are gonna do a quick break so they can get more power to our rock band, which is very cool. But there's a couple things that I want to direct you to for this short little break. So we do have petitions circulating. We are all out of postcards, so good job on that. We have tables in the back where you can go up, you can give your email, you can take a flyer, you can plug in to direct action. And we have a table in the back if you need to re-register to vote, if you need to change your address to vote, if you need to check your registration, they can help you with that. That is the white tent. Again, it's going to be 2 to 4 minutes with our break, and we're going to have music. And the last thing I want to say is that I was here at this building on Wednesday night for the school vouchers vote for a couple of hours. By the way, we lost the battle, but we're not going to win the war, okay? We are going to sue, and we are going to rebuild the government in our image, and we're going to flip hundreds of seats. And the school voucher thing is a big problem, and we're going to solve it together as long as we stay plugged in. And I'm going to get you a lot of information, so if you want to take any notes or come up to me or anyone else later, you are welcome to. I will be here during cleanup. Texas Ledge season is happening for 6 months. Every year and a half, they have 6 months to pass laws. Right now, they have 3,000 laws, give or take a dozen, that they are trying to cram through. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. You know, we had a conversation last night that it might not matter too much, because in a year from now, are we still gonna even have an elected? But we are doing everything we can to make sure we rebuild our government very quickly, so it is important. And it is important for the midterms that we do not allow them to roll back our constitutional right to vote. And I'm going to tell you exactly how they're trying to do that. So there is a handful, a dozen, of anti-election, anti-voter bills. I testified against maybe 5 of them on Thursday. You can find it on my TikTok channel or Instagram, or you can come up and ask me how to plug in. Come out this week. Come out this week. Work from the Capitol. The seats are comfy. I do it all the time. Come out this week, drop a card. Make a phone call this week if you can't come down, because we have really bad stuff happening. We have anti-abortion, anti-women, anti-civil rights, and anti-election bills that they are trying to cram through. This is important, and that is even more important. So, in your couple of minutes, plug in, get resources, come up to me after the show and get my Protect and Prepare flyer, 1 per family, because we're going to run out. This is put your own oxygen mask on first.
and ask staff if you have any questions about what can I do tomorrow. One thing every day, y'all. We're doing one thing every day. We're writing an email. We're making a phone call. We're coming up here, dropping a card or testifying. We're making a donation. We're calling an elected. We are plugging in and doing one thing every day. This is a marathon. And this week, I ask you to sprint to save our ability to flip seats at the midterms. I know that's a lot of information, and really it's true to pick the thing you care about and to pay attention, but also I and we are trying to make it so accessible to take small actions. You know, we are the many. We hear so much from the vocal few, from those who hate and who are unhappy in their personal lives and are trying to take it out on the rest of the country. We hear so much from the vocal few, but we far outnumber the haters, and we far outnumber the vocal few. And by taking one action every day, a handful of actions every week, if we do that, it will be a wave, not just of blue, but of Americans. And that is how we run this marathon, one thing every day. All right, you got your 2 to 5 minutes, plug in, get a water if you need one at the white tent in the back, stick around for 2 more bands, and thank you so much for coming out to our Resist picnic.
Hey y'all, I'm doing a project where I mail postcards to our senators, right? So I have postcards. They are addressed to John Cornyn. He is a lawyer and a former judge. He knows the law. Some of you have called his office. I saw that shake of your head over there. I've called him too, right? But he's got to hear from us that this erosion of our rights, this erosion of due process is not okay. So I'm looking for people who can write positive messages and not call him any swear words. And then your first name and your zip code. Is that something y'all would be interested in doing? Yeah. All right, great. I am low on pins right now, so okay. Y'all interested? Okay. Here's a couple postcards. We'll take one more card over here. Postcards, and then here's a pin. Right? Okay, awesome. So, okay, thank you. Yes, awesome. Thank you so much for being here, right? First name, zip code, and a positive message. Protect due process, uphold the Constitution. These were things we all believed in just a few days ago as Americans. Protect the VA, protect schools and parks. There's so many things. You tricked me. I appreciate that. I like a good trick. Keeps me on my toes. Did you need a pin too?
Check, check, check. I'm in the back. I'm in the back.
Guitar vocal, yeah, that's great. Guitar vocal test. 1, 2, check, check. Guitar vocal. Love it.
Wake up! Grab a put a little thing up. That's for Nevin. He asked me to do System of a Down during sound check. This is my sound check. Awesome. And if you're still here and you want to come forward like we do in punk rock, come on forward. And if not, we'll rock in your direction wherever you are. All right, y'all. We are Parker Woodland. We are an Austin, Texas rock and roll band and activist friends. And these songs have all been inspired by the work that you're doing and we're doing and the to build the world we deserve, the world that is possible. This first song is for everyone in the LGBTQ community in Austin, especially kids and their parents fighting for our rights. It's called Makeup.
Sometimes nothing happens. You're always trying, and it gets so tiring. So you call your mother from outside, say, call me by my new name. You just keep trying, but you get so tired. Just keep fighting, 'cause it hurts to hide. Put your makeup on, boy, you know you're not gonna die yet. It's our party now, you know who you are. Put your makeup on, boy, you know you're not gonna die yet. Get your favorite dress and your glitter on. Put your makeup on, boy, you know you're not gonna die yet. It's your party now, you know who you are. Sing it! Get your makeup on, boy, you know you're not gonna die yet. Get your favorite dress and your glitter on. You don't know the many things, you know who you are. You don't know the many things, you know who you are. And you don't know the many things, you know who you are. And you don't know the many things, you know who you are. 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 You don't know the many things. This song is about capitalism and Elon Musk and the Earth's cry for help. Fuck yeah. Well, the sun that we're casting, it demands a reckoning. A reckoning. All this greed needs a sacrifice. Now Giganticus. Is this our statue in the sand? How will we know it's enough? How will we know it's enough? Cause the spell that we're casting into man's reckoning. Yeah, the curse that we're casting demands the reckoning. The reckoning. The reckoning. Thanks, y'all. All right, this has been a really special day. I really do hope you're leaving with action. One of the things I wanted to say earlier when I made my speech before we jump into a Clash song is for every conversation you have with someone who looks like you or thinks like you, try to have a conversation with someone who doesn't. We need everybody. And for everything you post online, please make 10 phone calls to your legislators and write 10 letters to the editor. We gotta get out of our echo chamber and we gotta make them know it. All right. Let's do this. Well, I'm running, police on my back. I've been hiding, police on my back. There was a shooting, police on my back. They got a victim, well, he won't come back. I've been running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What have I done? What have I done? I started running down a railway track to help me. Police on my back, they will catch me if I did drop back. Won't you give me all the speed I lack? I've been rolling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What have I done? What have we done? Won't you help me? Police on my back, they will catch me if I dare drop back. Won't you give me all the speed I like? I've been running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What have I done? What have I done? So good! Woo! Running, hiding, running. Public school talking those days that we didn't. Hiding. We're gonna fight for those public schools, aren't we? Running, hiding, running, hiding. Wow! I've been running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. last time y'all were amazing. Woo! The Raging Grannies are next. They are dear friends of ours. They rule. They've been creating music for moments like this for such a long time. Stick around. This song, all our songs are on the internet, on vinyl. Come find Parker Woodland Band, like Parker Lane and Woodland Avenue in Southeast Austin. This song is The World's on Fire, and we still fall in love. 1, 2, 3, 4! Hard time to look for hope when the truth can't feel like a joke or worse. They tell you it's your fault if you trust. There's one thing I know, it's this: opposites do coexist, and the last thing they'll ever kill is love. World's on fire and we still fall in love. World's on fire and we still fall in love. World's on fire and we're not giving up. No, I could let you go. Say it's not worth it. Oh, I could give up before we know. 'Cause what's the use in having hope? Then even though everything's wrong and it shows, I still look at you and I know one thing could be perfect. World's on fire and we still fall in love. World's on fire and we still fall in love. World's on fire and we're not giving up. No. I don't want to be naive, but I catch myself wanting to believe in me. Think I could take a risk this time. Woo! Hard time to look for hope when the truth can't feel like a joke or worse. They tell you it's your fault if you try. World's on fire and we still fall in love. World's on fire and we still fall in love. World's on fire and we're not giving up. No. World's on fire and we still fall in love. World's on fire and we still fall in love. World's on fire and we still fall in love. World's on fire, still fall in love. Woo!
That's the head dude.
Hello. One last announcement and plea. If you are a registered voter in the city of Austin and you want to sign the petition and you haven't yet, please do come sign. I have a bunch of clipboards here. If there's one circulating out that you know, please bring it in. So thank you so much for your consideration. AustinUnitedPAC.com is where you can get more information about the petition drive. Thank you.
Y'all registered to vote? out of the way. How about you, sir? I saw you earlier today.
I'm registered to revolt. Are you?
I'm not sure.
You
that's
still
the thing.
believe in elections? You're so young. 4 more years. Just wait 4 more years. Vote your way out of this shit. Yeah. Okay.
Have you been here the whole time?
Huh?
Have you been here the whole time?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Has it been kind of this size the whole time, or was it bigger?
Oh, no,
before?
there was like maybe, I mean, right now it's not that many people. There was more people on the Confederate lawn. This is called the Confederate lawn. They announced that. This is the Confederate lawn that they reserved a permit to protest. To protest with the permit.
I see.
There's a lot of misinformation going around, so I've been to too many protests. I'm ready for like action for people that actually center indigenous people and talk about land back and like give people a voice and aren't paying the cop. They said we don't want to pay the oppressor, literally paying the oppressor to be here. I like to see, so like when they have the Palestinian protests, they don't pay for a permit. That's a protest and a march. And there's no march. So what's going on is this group is co-opting all the organizations around the country to keep them from resisting and from doing actual civil disobedience. And it's run by Greenberg, some guys out of the Fed that started this shit. Yeah, yeah, it's on the line. It's online. They're also like they've been silencing Palestinian voices. They've been doing a lot of stuff.
So it's where is that information?
It's online. My friend sent it to me on Facebook. It's probably Facebook. I don't know. It might be on Instagram. I don't know. But yeah, it's out there. Like the originators are like Zionist Jews. Yeah, obviously they're anti-Gaza. Yeah, obviously. So you know, there's a lot of like conflictions. Zionists are not your friends today.
They're easy songs to. Where's the drummer? No drummer.
No drummer.
Voices.
Drummer's got a date. Center Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza.
We ought to be in that number. When DJT is history. When everyone
Get all these DEI hires still here.
we all want to be in that number.
Shame.
I need me one of those. I do this 5 days a week. I'm getting laryngitis.
I'm loud about it, but the APD has my other one. They're trying to press charges. They say free speech is interference. We're actually in federal court on the same issue, so good luck with that. Center Indigenous Test. First. Test. Okay. All the posters get left. Oh, look at that one. Plutonium 233 or whatever it was. Center Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now, and FTP all day.
Center. Center Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now, and FTP all day. Center Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza. Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day.
Child was born or something. I don't know. We got the Christmas song.
And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender. Make sure you pick up that horse shit there, buddy. That littering. You smell like your horse. What have you been doing in your horse's arse? You smell like it. Pick it up. Tender Indigenous.
They're still there. They're still up there if you're going up there.
There was a protest.
There's still people up there. There's not too many.
Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day.
It plays on its own. See, I don't have to say nothing.
Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Welcome to Austin. This is the Austin Visitors Bureau. There's a bunch of cops back there trying to arrest people. If you'd like to go down there and see what goes on in Austin, welcome to Austin. We love our cops. We love our cops Nazi. We love our Nazi cops. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. All day. All day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. You gotta love Austin police. Nothing but Nazis, nothing but cops. Who doesn't love a Nazi cop? Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices and Free Gaza now. And FTP all day. Tender Indigenous Voices. Free Gaza! Free Palestine!
We don't need no Zionist Jews. We got drug habit, he smells like my shoes.
We don't need no Zionist. We don't need no Zionist Jews. Trump smells like my shoes. I'm gonna play.
Zionist Jews. Trump smells like my shoes. Zionist Jews. Trump smells like my shoes. Zionist Jews. Trump.
FTP 123 ABC. Fuck the police.
FTP 123 ABC. Fuck the police. FTP 123 ABC. Fuck the police. FTP 123 ABC. Fuck the police. FTP 123 ABC. Fuck the police. FTP 123. So you don't just have First Amendment protections at the Confederate line with a bunch of narcs with 50-51. You also have freedom of speech and constitutional rights no matter where you are. You're fully protected by the law, and if that fails, then the governors, the elected officials, the agents, the security, the police state is not safe because they're outnumbered. Always remember that. We the people, or else no justice, no peace.
I got to make sure my megaphone's working. Could y'all hear it okay? Is it alright? Is it working? Yeah, I hear you. Well, y'all, we'll see y'all soon. It's gonna be a nice day in Afghanistan. Another nice day in Afghanistan. So I hope that you're all safe. I hope that your children are safe. I hope that you're ready for whatever comes what may. And it's gonna get bad, y'all. You're not gonna vote your way out of this. 50-51's fake. They haven't even, like, I've been engaging them since they started, and they're not even engaging us back, so whatever. All right, namaste.